All right, mic check, 1, 2, mic check. Mic, mic of the check. I'm assuming you're hearing me out there. Good morning, Sander. Welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus. Look at all the news we got going this morning. Preliminary GDP, durable goods, the PCE price index, unemployment claims, and we'll stick around for the market opens. We've also got new home sales at 10 o'clock, natural gas at 10:30, oil at noon, and then our webinar at 1 if I'm still alive. I'll put the link in the room for the webinar. Everyone's always invited. If you need a refresh or you're new, our webinars are always helpful for that, especially. My name is Lee Goldstein, the Trading Director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember all the trades we discuss for educational purposes. So I wanted to show everybody the massive amount of news. Massive. I mean, there's a lot of news coming out at 8:30. The government shutdown has, as we have been talking about it over the past weeks, created schedules that have never gone back to normal in terms of when reports are being released, which does create a lot of chaos
Secured overnight
in
financing
trying to
increased by
come up with
63%,
great,
which is unchanged.
perfect setups. You have years of setups that have been thrown into a little bit of inconsistency and or uncertainty because lots of reports are trading not the way they used to trade, not with the same reports they used to trade with, not trading by themselves like they used to. We've even seen the PCE price index a couple of times. It traded at 10 a.m. I'm positive that that's happened once or twice. So we have a situation today where there's a lot of news being released at once. The PCE price index, which is a very important inflationary index, GDP, which is important, obviously, and it's preliminary GDP. It's the most impactful, used to be the most impactful GDP report. Um, you've also got, as part of the PCE price index, or what trades with the PCE price index, you've got personal spending, you've got personal income, consumption, a lot of news. And then not even thinking about durable goods is trading today with normal Thursday jobless claims. So, how can anyone ever come up with any kind of setup that would make any sense at all to trade this many news events at one time? So, first of all, I'm going to keep the news off to the side because we're not going to be able to analyze all the news at once anyway. I mean, that's the honest truth. There's too much news to analyze all at once. Um, I'm not saying I'm not saying that we can't analyze the news. Don't get me wrong, we can. But it is complicated, and it's hard to know for sure what news is going to cause the market to move or not move. And so you have to make a decision. What's your risk tolerance when things are so unusual? So I'll tell you a couple of things that are interesting. Over the past year or year and a half, I've always overcompensated when I've seen a lot of news reports coming out at once. I've always increased the tiers too big, and often the market does the opposite of what we expect when there's a lot of news all at once. So there's three setups that I believe are viable. There's really four. You could wait for the news to take place and trade, look for a magnet, look for a reversal
The
continuation.
Pakistan government has Foreign Minister Shah
Completely
convened in
reasonable
Washington
way
on
to
May
trade
29th
when
to
there's
meet
so
US
much
Secretary of State
news. All
Rubio.
right? So that's possibility number one. You could take a look at the spike sheets we created. We still create spike sheets. Um, First off, just quickly, let's look at GDP in April. We had a lot of the
Welcome everyone
same
to the Pro Trade Room
reports
Plus. We're here for
trading
the
together.
ECB
Not
refi
all of
rate,
them,
GDP
but three of
unemployment.
them. So let's see what we traded and what happened in April. In April, and we also had the euro refi rate. Well, we traded gold and the NQ in April. All right. And it was a Thursday, so we pretty much just traded it very similar to our normal Thursday trade. And that's the approach we took. We made the tiers bigger on the trap trade, and it was a fairly normal NQ setup. All right. So that's what we did. Let's see what happened. Now, when you look at the news, there was not nearly as much news as there is today, but still, there was a decent, significant amount. So, what happened? We had gold on the left. We used MNQ in the middle. There was also a Canada trade. And let's just see what happened. How was the gold move? Gold is of big interest because I'm going to take a risk on a trap trade because I'm nuts. And the gold trap trade, we used bigger tiers, and the first tier got filled and it had a very good reversal. So our tier was 50. Okay? 50. It didn't get close to the 90, but 50 filled. And then the NQ, here's the NQ. It really took its time to respond. 10 seconds and it didn't fill. That was the MNQ. That was a little bit surprising that it was a very muted response on the MNQ. To the point that hard to believe, we canceled it. All right. Now, I'll show you one more. In What's crazy is in April, there were two reports with GDP, unemployment, PCE price because of the shutdown. So reports have been squished together. So let's triple check. Yep. Very similar. Similar on our setups. Also, we used MNQ instead of NQ. It's not a bad idea to reduce risk using MNQ on reports like this when there's a lot, but it's strictly up to you. You know, watching Nitin trade, he's making money because he's using full size instruments and he's getting lots of payouts because he's using full size instruments. So At some point, you got to say to yourself, I'm just going to make the investment. And if I blow up an account, fine, I'm blowing it up. But I'm tired of these $30 wins and $38 wins on the micros. And I'm just going to dedicate a couple accounts and trade them normal size all the way through, even when they get funded. And I think sometimes being aggressive, smart aggressive, not dumb aggressive, smart will help you to get money out of these prop accounts. Notice the MNQ filled and our gold tiers were too big and they weren't huge. They were not huge. Just a quick reminder, the gold tier was normal. Normal Thursday 45. Normal Thursday 45. Now, so we created a spike sheet. So nothing's going to change about whether or not we create a spike sheet. So how do you create a spike sheet when you have so many events trading at the same time? That's the tricky thing. What you do is you just got to create a spike sheet for every report. So we have a PCE spike sheet. And that's probably, that and GDP are probably the major reports today. Durables is probably less important than unemployment. I would probably say PCE, GDP, durables, unemployment if I was going to rate them. When we look at spike sheets for GDP and PCE price index, two things showed up. And those things, first of all, what's a spike sheet? It's a sheet that just shows us what was the move at the exact time of the news. That tells us if we have a breakout or a trap, if we look at a reversal, all right? And we do look at reversals on many trades. In this particular case, on the RTY, this is not to us an RTY reversal, all right? But what we noticed is we've got some decent moves as of late on the RTY. Nice breakouts for the last three reports. So, and we always, not always, we often see the RTY being a manageable index to trade when there's lots of news and there's lots of what might be chaos. Very often the RTY is a fairly stable instrument to trade. Calvin, what's a bold strategy? What do you mean? So first thing I'm going to do is put a reverse continue on my RTY. All right, reverse continue on the RTY. Just one position, a 35 tick target, and a 35 tick stop. Label it RTY, reverse continue. Oh, I don't mean all the time. I don't mean all the time. But I mean I'm going to dedicate one or two prop accounts possibly. Look, we have three or four that we use all the time, and at least dedicate one or two of them to being a little bit more aggressive. That's my thinking. I'm just thinking of being a little more aggressive. RTY reverse continue, and where are we going to trade our RTY this morning? If I can get away with it. RTY, I'm going to trade in account 29. This might be tricky to do this. I can always, this account, I always forget what I'm allowed to do, and it can be a problem sometimes. Anyway, 29 is going to be my RTY. Apply it, okay it. But that means I think I can only trade one contract on my breakout. So here's what I'm going to do. I have an RTY reverse continue. We're going to trade that in account 29. And I have a breakout on the RTY on our DMM. So let's grab our DMM. So RTY, we have a breakout. Click News Trader. breakout, and our trigger time is going to be 8:29:58. Our bracket's 15, and I'm only trading one position because I can't trade. The brokers double the amount of orders on a breakout trade, and it will be too many contracts. So what I'm going to do is just go pretty conservative for just a target of 20, target one of 40 ticks. I think that's probably too big. The RTY, well, that's what I'm doing. Target of 40. The stop is 35 on the RTY. And if the market moves 20 ticks, I need more than that. If the market moves 25 ticks, move my stop to break even plus 20. I want to make $100 on my RTY trade. That's what I'm looking to do. So, but I'm trading one contract and I can't manage it manually. I'm going to be busy with my trap trade. I mean, I'll keep an eye on it, but so one more time, we're triggering at 8:29:58. The bracket is 15. One contract. My stop is 35. My target is 40. If the RTY goes 40 ticks, I'll make my profit. I won't have to manage it. If it doesn't go 40 ticks and it goes into a profit, if the market moves 25 ticks in my favor, the stop goes to plus 20, and then whatever the RTY does, if it reverses, I try to protect all 20 of those ticks. Slippage could affect it, and or it keeps going ultimately and hits our target. So we'll do the RTY breakout in the same account, 29. RTY breakout is the label. And then the one thing we'll do, especially before I choose the account, I'll put the RTY on sim. We'll put our time on 0. We need to check our bracket. Not going to have time to mess with brackets because we have a whole bunch of setups. Put our charts on sim. RTY, what's our bracket looking like?
Order submitted.
It's a little big, right?
Order
Let's get
canceled.
rid of our vertical line on entry. Try not to forget that. Highlight the breakout. Go to optional. Uncheck vertical line on entry. I'm going to have the programmer make that default unchecked. Here's our brackets.
Order submitted.
All right, very nice manageable brackets for the RTY. We go back, put our RTY 8:29:58. Now look, I could lose on every single trade. Everything could go wrong. But I have to test all these setups because we created these setups. We want to see what happens. That's one reason why people say to me, "What's your success rate?" In our success rate, we have to be honest, and we can't. I'm taking trades that maybe you wouldn't take. Would I take all these trades when there's so much news being released? I would have to think real carefully about how much risk I would take in this kind of situation. I mean, I don't have to tell you, there's a lot going on, a lot of reports. All right, there's a lot of reports here. So that creates extra risk. Let's look at gold. Can you really take a trap trade in this market on gold with 35 and 60 as the tiers? I'm willing to risk it because there's been much smaller movement on gold trap trades. We have a 90 zone of safety. It's got to move no more than 90 ticks to stop us out. I love gold trap trades in these markets. I will risk it. First, I'll put a gold magnet on the chart, high of day, low of day, one position. Everything else default except for the stop, which is 40. I'll label it gold magnet, GC magnet, And I'll do my gold trades in account 45. And if I damage the account, we'll just keep trading it today like we always do. So a magnet, one position, apply it. And now we need to add our trap trade. I'll put a reverse continue on gold real quick. Reverse continue, one position, a 40 target, stop of 35, label it GC, reverse continue, and we're on account 45 for gold, and our trap. Now I'm going to add the trap trade. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. Remember, all these trades aren't trading at once. 2 of them for after the news. Trap, the reverse continue, and the magnet. We'll look at the markets after the news. Activate 829.55. Our stop is 30. Tier 1 is 35. I believe we'll definitely get filled on this. Tier 2 is 60. We may get blown out of the water on this trade, but the traps have been smaller. We've been seeing it over and over. Gold's volatility, even though it still has up $60, down $60, the moves on the news are a little bit less volatile. They're not 150 ticks. So I feel that our setup is good. We've canceled a fair amount of traps. Okay. Calvin, you're hilarious in some ways. Yes, but you're really good. He's really good. 45 is the account we're in. One more time on the setup. We're triggering the trap at 829.55. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. One contract for each order, or tier as we call them. Tier 1 is 35, tier 2 is 60, the stop is 30. If the market goes up, we sell. If the market goes down, we buy. Don't forget, that's the definition of a trap trade. With gold, we're going to put our trap trade on first. Make sure you see the cancel button, outer tier. Cancel outer tier. That button needs to be seen. If only one order fills, we cancel our outer tier if we get a good reversal and want to move our stop to safety. So I turn on my trap first. You can then put your magnet on if you're looking at magnets for gold. High of day, low of day, off. I don't want to be distracted by orders before the news. And then our reverse continue, which is a scalp,
8:30 a.m.
a
Eastern
friendly
Time. We're
scalp.
expecting the US
Now,
PCE price index for April
because I'm trading
year-on-year
so
forecast
many different
3.8%,
accounts,
prior
I'm going to do
3.5%, with a
micros
range of
on the
4% to
MNQ.
3.7%.
All right, and that is
Month-to-month
our
forecast
setup. So
0.5%, prior
NQ will be
0.7%,
micros,
with a range of 0.6% to
06,
0.4%. Core year-on-year
29. Don't
forecast
forget gold
3.3%,
has
prior
rolled
3.2%,
over.
with a range of 3.4% to 3.3%. And core
Gold has
month-to-month
rolled
forecast
over.
0.3%, prior
MNQ
0.3%, with a range of
0626. I don't even know what I
0.4% to
typed.
0.2%.
All right.
Consumer spending month-on-month forecast
MNQ, we have a reverse
0.5%, prior
continue. Let's check
0.9%,
it.
and with a range of 0.7% to
I
0.3%.
set up a two
Also
position
expecting
reverse
US GDP in
continue. In case
Q1
I take a
stagnating,
reverse continue on the
with quarter on
MNQ,
quarter
I just want to
forecast
show you a
2
different way to scalp. Instead
forecast
of just
3%,
doing one
prior
contract, I
2%,
set up a
with a
two
range of
contract scalp.
2.3% to 1.7%. GDP price index forecast
I
3.6%,
would put an extra
unchanged from
contract on
prior,
position
with a
one.
range of
35
3.9%
target
to
one, 100 on
3.5%.
target two.
Furthermore, we're expecting
Stop
US
of
durable
100.
goods April
Break
premium
even if it
forecast
hits the first
3.9%,
target.
prior
Our
0.8%, with a range of
MNQs will be in account number
9.8% to
44.
0.5%. US weekly jobless claims,
Apply it.
initial
All right,
claims
and then we
forecast
need to add our
212k, prior
magnet and our
209k, with a
breakout.
range
So
of
let's do the
215k
breakout.
to 200k. We have continued
The
claims
main
forecast
trade is the
1.781
breakout.
million,
That's the DMM
prior
trade.
1.782 million, with a range of
829.58 on
1.81
the
to
trigger.
1.733
Now, a lot of
million.
times when there's this news at once, it's delayed. Some of the reports come out at different times. So you can get a response, a trade that ends, then the news comes out, the rest of the news comes out. So it could be very, very unusual. So it's a pretty big bracket on the MNQ 50. Our breakout is a target of 20 and 55. Decide on all trades what your risk is. How many contracts do you want to trade? Target 1 is 20. Target 2 is 55. Target 1 stop move goes to break even, and our stop is 100. It's only 50 cents a tick. Label it MNQ breakout. 50 cents a tick is the cost of your trade in ticks. It's 50 cents a tick for the MNQ. So if you're 100 ticks, it's $50 per contract, if that's your stop. And we need to test our bracket by setting the time to 0. Put the charts on sim. Spread the chart a little bit because there will be some movement.
Order submitted.
Let's
Order
get rid of the
canceled.
vertical line. Optional, uncheck, show vertical line. All right.
Order submitted.
All right. 50 should be a good bracket. You can see there's volatility
Order
in the
canceled.
NQ this morning already. This is a fairly busy time to trade. Highlight the breakout, put the time back. 8:29:58 on the trigger, 50 on the bracket. And again, this is a managed trade. It'll pretty much manage itself. 8:29:58. The bracket's 50. Target 1 is 20. 55. Target 2. Now, this MQ can move 100 ticks, 200 ticks. It could. I'm putting in aggressive targets just because I've got so many setups. Target 1 stop move, break even, BE. If it hits the first target, my stop will move to break even. Our stop is 100. Labeled the trade, MNQ breakout. And where do we say our MNQs are? In 44. Apply it and OK it. And we can turn our breakout on. Make sure our chart's on 44. All right. So here's what we know about many, many news reports. On many, many news reports, I am going to put a magnet on the MNQ for after the news. Many, many news reports, the NQ and the MNQ, it almost always moves. It's the nature of the N and the MNQ. It almost always moves. Okay? Magnet, I'm just setting a stop of 100 on the NQ and upping the positions to 2. And
So a reminder in
negative
5 minutes
3
time,
is
we're
the
expecting
default.
USPC price index for April. Year-on-year
Target,
forecast 3 spot
label it
8%, prior 3
MNQ
spot
magnet.
5%, month-on-month forecast 0 spot 5%, prior 0 spot 7%, core year-on-year
So what we've
forecast 3
learned over the
spot 3%,
years, as
prior 3 spot
Calvin
2%,
knows, because
core
he
month-on-month
trades
forecast 0 spot
MNQ on
3%,
almost
prior 0 spot
every
3%,
report,
consumer
or
spending month-on-month
NQ,
forecast 0
it
spot
tends to
5%,
move on
prior 0
almost
spot
every
9%.
report. It's just one of those
We're also
instruments that
expecting US
moves
GDP Q1 second
on
estimate,
news. Now
quarter-on-quarter
check,
forecast 2%,
so
prior 2%,
RTY,
GDP price index forecast 3 spot 6%, prior 3 spot
check that
6%,
the
US
RTY
durable
is
goods
on
April
the right
prelim forecast 3 spot 9%, prior 0
chart
spot 8%,
and the right
US
account. So
weekly
all
total
our
claims,
RTY
initial claims
setups
forecast
should be on
212k,
29,
prior
and you can look at the
209k,
account
and consumer
display,
claims
and
forecast
they
1
are.
spot 781 million,
Our
prior 1 spot
MNQs
782
should
million.
all be on 44. All right, our chart should be on 44. MNQ 44. Breakout on 44. Magnet on 44. Otherwise, you won't see your orders. And then gold. Everything gold is on 45. GC reverse. Trap. All right. So I'm going to manage the trap gold because it's the most expensive trade in terms of risk and possible profit. Which trade is the best odds? Very honestly, we liked the NQ and RTY. we felt that there was a good opportunity looking at the spike sheets, looking at the news over and over each month. The RTY and the MNQ seem to have good movement and not a lot of whipsaws over time. If you look at the RTY, there's been no whipsaws for a very long time on the PCE. Okay. And then when we looked at the MNQ, we had similar on PCE, which I think is an important report here. Not a lot of whipsawing, and that lends well to a breakout. So that's why we like MNQ and RTY. The gold trap trade definitely is the higher risk. We just don't know, what kind of response gold is going to have to the news. I think it will definitely fill. I mean, I don't think it's a pretty small trap. Paul, I don't know if you're here. Are you here, Paul? You were asking me about trailing runners. All right, so I'll try to remember to talk about trailing after the news. I could have done it during, but it's okay. Paul was asking a good question, trying to program a runner a little bit more automatically. And one way you could do that is by using the trailing feature in the software. If you turn trailing on
1 minute remaining. I'll be dealing with US PCE price index year
and set it up right, and I'll show you, it'll trail tick for tick. If price goes profitable, the stop will move 1 tick for each tick of profit. All right, let's see what happens here. Are we going to get blown out of the water live on YouTube, embarrass ourselves with horrible setups? Or are we going to look like a genius, like yesterday at CRM earnings, where both our setups made money? And I want to, for people that did not come to the earnings room yesterday afternoon, you missed an interesting trade. Here we go. 15 seconds. Gold, we got to make sure we
10
can
seconds.
see all our orders. That's first things first.
Order submitted.
Okay, we can see the orders nicely.
Order submitted.
Okay, news is coming out now.
Order submitted.
Now, RTY filled, it looks like it may have filled on the wrong
3.8%,
side.
Order canceled.
3.8% as expected.
Order filled.
USPC
Order
So
filled.
RTY filled on the wrong side.
Low in the forecast of
Order
0.5%.
filled.
Gold,
US
I'm
initial jobless
increasing
claims,
the stop
215K,
size because
Order
I believe
filled.
we'll get a
higher than the
reversal.
forecast of 210.5K.
I'm increasing the
US GDP
stop.
quarter-on-quarter second
RTY
estimate,
did not
1.6%,
work.
1.6%, low in the forecast of 2%.
So
US
news
durable
is
goods,
still being
7.9%,
announced.
7.9%, higher than the forecast of 4%. US core PC price index year-on-year, 3.3%, 3.3%, as
Now,
expected. US core PC price index month-on-month, 0.2%, 0.2%, lower than forecast of 0.3%. US consumer
where's my
spending
news?
month-on-month,
That's what I'm looking for.
0.5%, 0.5%,
Is my
as expected.
news.
US GDP price index 3.5%, 3.5%, lower than the forecast
Now,
of
we're not getting a
3.5%. US
reversal,
commercial
so it
income
looks like we're going to
month-on-month,
get killed on
0%,
gold.
0%, lower than forecast of
It just
0.4%.
feels
US real personal
dangerous.
consumption
Now,
month-on-month,
the good thing is
0.1%,
gold is
0.1%,
short.
as expected. US
Gold is
Q3
bearish.
inflator SA prelim,
We may just have to
3.5%,
wait.
3.5%. US core durable goods,
Now, the
1.9%,
RTY, I
1.9%,
think we
higher than
just
forecast
had
of
bad luck on the
0.5%.
fill.
Canadian current account,
I
minus
think the fill was bad
7.18
luck.
billion, minus
The
7.18 billion.
MNQ looked like it
Lower than
worked
forecast of minus
perfectly.
4.265 billion.
The
US core
GDP is
PC
way
price
worse
prelim,
than expected, it
4.4%,
looks like.
4.4%, higher than forecast
Durable
of
goods is way
4.3%.
better than
US continued
expected.
jobless claims,
Jobless claims a
1.786
little
million,
bit worse than
1.786 million,
expected.
higher than forecast of
PCE
1.784
looks
million.
as
US
expected
PC
and
pricing
lower.
prelim, 4.5%, 4.5%. See
GDP
a
prices a
little
little
bit
bit
of weakness
lower,
for US dollar, bit
continuing
of strength for
jobless
the
claims,
S&P 500,
tiny
slight
bit
deflation.
higher on jobless claims. Doesn't look like a disaster, but personal income is bad. GDP sales were lower. Just looks like a lot of mixed news to me. Looks like a lot of mixed.
Treasury steady after PCE price rise,
A
less
lot
than
of mixed.
estimated.
But another breakout winner on NQ, MNQ. RTY got us. Let's get rid of our RTY breakout. So we remove it. Our MNQ breakout can be removed. Now, of course, the regret is should have traded the MNQ as an NQ, not as an MNQ. All right. Now you can put your high of day, low of day magnets on and see where your orders might want to fill long. You have triple magnets up top. Hang on. Yeah, durable goods were really good. So, but it's a lot of news to try and calculate the market's reaction. Unfortunately, we're
US Treasury
not
yields trail
getting
gains after data.
a
Yield on 10-year
reversal out
Treasury
of
note bounced
gold.
up 2 basis
It's
points
just
at
sitting. It's
4.501%.
just sitting. Now, you could get out of your gold trade or you can wait. You can wait. Will we get a reversal? Gold is $60 negative on the day. So it is possible. If the NQ decides to make a new high, I'll let it trade it. I'll let it trade it by having the magnet trade automatically. RTY, right now I'm done trading the RTY. Our breakout did not work. The breakout did not work. We'll look at the video and we'll see why. Now, gold, we're just not getting that reversal. We just have to wait on the trap trade. I'm just waiting. So we still have our setups. I'm done at the moment with RTY. I'm not going to, I can only look at so many setups.
So we have posted the US personal income and outlays April 2026 report, the US GDP Q1 second estimate
Initial
report, and the
jobless
US
claims
durable
were a
goods
little bit
April PMI
higher.
report on the feed
The big
Thursday.
surprise, I think, was durable goods was very good, extremely high. And then looking at the inflation, the PCE, do you believe these numbers? We talk about this all the time. No one knows if these numbers are real, but we don't really care. What we care about are the numbers going to move the market for a trade. That's the issue. So even though a lot of people could put a lot of politics around these reports, for us, it's not the politics. It's whether the news moves the market regardless of what the politics is. So we don't really care what the politics is. We just care if there's a move. All right. So I'm going to wait. I have to just patiently wait and
Euro
see if
edges
we can
higher versus the
survive
dollar
this
after
gold
data,
trap
priced up
trade, or if we're going to
0.03%,
be
and the
working
US
out
dollar
of
edges lower
a
versus the
negative
Japanese yen
morning.
after the data,
Account
priced down
29
0.09%.
got hurt on the RTY, and I was barely watching the RTY. When I looked over, it was filled. So my thinking is our bracket was a little bit too small. And look, that's the bracket size that tested safely with the RTY on almost every trade we test with the RTY. It seemed like a safe bracket. That's we don't just randomly say, well, let's try a 15 bracket because we think it's going to be safe. That's not why we chose it. And Paul is saying his RTY worked. So type in if you traded the RTY that we traded and whether yours worked or not. Now, for me, I only traded one position on RTY. And I don't like one position trades. We're going to get
Order
killed.
canceled.
So gold literally just did not reverse. It just refused to reverse. So it is what it is, folks. I said I would take the risk. We needed a bigger, much bigger tiers. Now, I think
Order submitted.
that there's a possibility. Now it'll reverse. You had that burst up. So I'm either going to blow this account up or I'm going to get a reversal. I may not be able to trade much longer on this account for the day, but my thinking is gold did that little burst up above the VWAP, and I'll take one more shot. I think it should reverse. If I'm wrong, I'm going to look like a dope, but it's still $50 negative. Still $50 negative. Now, did I break some of my rules? Yeah, because I took a short with momentum on the upside. So if I get punished, it's my own fault. Who else traded the RTY? Anybody else trade the RTY? Anyone? No? Do people not like the RTY? Do you all not like the RTY? Sim? Well, look, this probably could have been a report to trade Sim. Now, it looks to me like we may be getting a test of the high, not the high, of these three magnets. You've got three magnets here, but I definitely feel like I would be doing a big chase here if I took a trade on the RTY. I'm going to get killed on gold. I can't believe it. Gold decided it's just going to continue going up. So in a few minutes, we'll go back to our normal market open, which means YM in the middle, RT on the right, RTY on the right. So I'm not going to take a scalp trade on NQ at the moment. So I'm going to set up my middle chart for the YM and get ready for the open. So I'm going to turn off the magnet. I'm going to turn off my MNQ magnet. I'm going to turn off my MNQ reverse continue for the moment. Let's modify our MNQ chart setups for YM 0626. And we'll modify our MNQ setups, our reverse continue, 2 contracts on position 1, 1 contract position 2, 35 target, 100 target. Now for YM, I would just do 1 and 1 if we're going to trade the YM. Let me just think for a second. I'm going to trade my normal morning YM. 1 position, 35 target, 35 stop is our regular YM reverse continue in the morning. Let's go with our normal YM reverse continue. And YM, let's stay with number 44 at the moment. Number 44. Apply it, label it, we did, and then we'll modify our YM magnet. It was an MNQ magnet. High of day, low of day. We'll do a couple of positions, but our stop is 45. High of day, low of day. If you want to program the buttons, the ARS Enter Now button, position 1 is a 1, target is 35, stop is 35. That button is programmed for the ARS Enter Now button. And then if you want to program, I'm not going to program the reverse continue because I already programmed one. Label the magnet YM magnet. And what account did we say on our YM? 44. We'll stay on 44. And I'll double check that. Apply it. Okay it. So our YM is on account 44. And we'll turn on our YM magnet first. An amazing signal before the news that most people would not have taken. And then our YM reverse continue. Right now the markets are negative. They were pretty negative when we got here this morning. Now it's early, folks. So I'm not setting up a real trade yet. I am looking at a VWAP test. I'd love to see the YM pull down a little bit more, and then we'll look for either a VWAP test on a magnet or the test of the low. Test of the low. The high is in play, but I don't think the high is going to get there. Now, going back to the RTY, we have a reverse continue. We can leave that as is. We need our range trade for the market open on the RTY. Click News Trader. I'm going to load my range trade template. RTY range. RTY open. Okay. Our range trade. Make sure your trade type says range trade. The range start time is 9:25:00. 6 ticks above the range, 6 ticks below the range. Show the range graphics on chart. Show the range graphics on chart. Label it RTY range. And our count for the RTY is our funded account. The range ends at 9:30:00. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1, target 1 is 10, target 2 is 20. Target 1 stop move is BE for break even, and the stop loss is 25. Actually, we've been using 35 on our stop
Reminder,
for the
8:55
RTY.
a.m. Eastern Time. We're expecting comments from Fed Williams
right.
speaking at Reykjavik Economic Conference. Text and Q&A is
Apply
expected
it.
with the moderator.
Okay it. Back to using our funded account. I'll put a magnet on the RTY also. Usually I don't scalp too much on the RTY in the morning. Whoops, don't need an extra breakout. The magnet. Leaving it on off. I don't want the orders to show up on high of day, low of day yet. One position, 35 stop, default target on the RTY. So gold is killing me this morning. RTY magnet gets labeled, and we're on account 66. Apply it. Okay it. Make sure we're on it.
Order filled.
All right, so gold killed me. So I killed that account. So hang on one second. It won't be the first time I killed an account with bad scalping and a bad setup. You know, it wasn't a bad setup. I think gold was $60 negative. For gold to be moving up relentlessly, it's following the market. even when it went to negative, a little bit negative on the momentum, it really pulled back very little. We never had any really no opportunity for profit on gold. It really gave us no opportunity for profit. So it is what it is. I told you I was going to take crazy risk on that report. Would I have done that in a cash account? Never in a million years. That's the crazy thing about prop. You do things that maybe you shouldn't do normally, but it is what it is. Get rid of our trap on gold. Right now I'm done with gold. We need oil on our left chart. Oil 0726. Give me 1 second to check something. Bear with me. Let's take a look. Oil is up today. I guess nobody is totally surprised that oil would be up, right? Is anyone surprised oil's up? Probably not. Probably not at all. Bear with me half a second. Okay, so what are we going to do with oil? What are we going to do with oil? I'm going to reboot my Ninja in a minute just to clear everything out. I don't lose my setups. I'm not going to lose my setups. Let's put a reverse continue on the oil chart. All right, we've already got one that we had for gold. One position will make our stop 25, our target 25, our stop 25. Reverse continue. Right now I have to decide what account I'm going to trade it in, but I'm going to label it CL reverse continue. All right, apply it and okay it. Apply it and okay it. Apply it and okay it. Good morning, Maureen. And let's take a look at a 30-minute chart on oil.
Just a
At the
reminder,
moment,
finance time,
oil,
expecting
you
comments
could
from
see
Fed
it's been
Williams
up and
speaking at
down all
the
night.
Reykjavik Economic Conference.
Since the market
Fed
closed
and
yesterday,
Q&A is expected to
way
be
up, not
moderated.
way up, but up a bit, significant move up, and it sold off about 75% of the move up. And this morning, it's selling off again. All right, it's selling off again. So, oil back on a 1 minute chart. So we have a CL reverse continue. Let me just try one thing. I want to see something. All right. So, oil, oil, oil. Our YM, we're trading YM open. We're trading in 44. 44 made a couple of bucks. So let's just make sure our YM reverse continue and the YM magnet. I'm not having a real strong sense at the moment of where this market's going to go on the open. What I would love to see is more of a pullback on the YM. So as we get closer to the open, maybe we can do a VWAP test, or we may just have to wait for the market open. Now the oil open, we've been experimenting with this oil open. Yesterday we got stopped. It has not been working well. I'm going to put a magnet on oil, one position, a 35 stop, label it CL magnet. One position, everything else is default. The stop will be 30. All right, one position, default target is -3. So we have our magnet for oil, we've renamed it, and then we have our breakout. I'm going to take the breakout. The oil open, yesterday it was a terrible move. We haven't seen two terrible moves in a row in a long time. So, one of the things we do is we are playing probabilities. This is a report. I would not be taking an event. I would not be taking in a cash account under any circumstances. It has not responded well. It's the video I made this week, the event that we hate, the trade that I hate. All right, I wasn't kidding. I hate it. I like the trade itself. I hate it because it's not working well. That's why I hate it. We're putting the time to 0. It is a trigger that takes place at 8:59:59. That's the normal time. A target of 8, target of 20, a stop of 25.
1 minute remaining.
It's labeled CL breakout. All right, CL breakout.
So Treasury Secretary Bessent says to shut down Iran airline access to landing spots and fuel.
With everything on sim, let's see what the bracket looks like. Let's make sure. Never mind, we've turned off our vertical line.
Order submitted.
All right, so there's our bracket for this report. If we don't get a
10
pretty
seconds.
quick fill, I'll cancel. All right? I'm not going to wait around for a slow fill on the oil open. It doesn't do me well usually.
Order
All
canceled.
right?
Feds Williams says higher
So now we'll
productivity
go
rates
back
can raise real interest
to the
rates.
bracket,
And Feds Williams does not
highlight the
comment on mid-term
breakout.
monetary policy outlook.
Trade
Feds
type is a
Williams says
breakout
fundamental shifts
trade.
in productivity
Activate the
hard to spot
trade at
in real time, and the impact
8:59:59.
depends on how quickly public
Anyone can
recognizes the
practice
shift.
this to practice how to do breakouts. The bracket is 20, how to manage trades, etc. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. That means we have one target, one contract for each position. So that means we need a target also. 8 ticks is target 1, 20 ticks is target 2. The stop is 25 ticks. If we hit our first position, our first target, our stop will move to break even using the target 1 stop move. Now, Paul was asking, what if it's a runner? What if it keeps going? Instead of using the target 1 stop move, you could turn on trailing.
And Bessent
Trailing
says warns
stop mode,
corporations and
turn it
states against
on.
paying Iran tolls.
If you turn it on and you use number of trailing ticks at 1, and it's tick for tick in the method, which is the method I use. For each positive tick, the stop will move in your favor 1 tick. So if your trade just keeps going up, that'll create automatic trail. And the other thing you can do with the trail is you could start when it hits a target. You could start your trail at target 1, for instance. So that's one way you can program in a way to have a runner if a trade keeps going, going, going in one direction. 8:59.59 on the trigger. We were re-updating our account. All right, just a normal everyday prop account, nothing fancy for this report. You can put your map. First, I'll put our breakout on first. Now, did I change the time? I did. So we have our breakout chosen. Then I'm going to put my oil magnet on, and I noticed my oil reverse continue is on sim. So we need to highlight the reverse continue and choose the right account so that when we trade, apply it and okay it, we'll see the orders. Otherwise, we won't see them and it wasn't in the right account. I'll turn the magnet on next, and then our oil reverse continue should we decide to scalp after the open, which we usually don't. RTY, we can turn on our range, magnet and reverse continue. Right now, the RTY, I'm just concerned with the opening range. That's a long ways away. It's 25 minutes away. YM, we're watching. I'm thinking we're going to get a VWAP test on the YM. What do you all think? Don't you think we're going to get that test? It seems like no matter what happens in life, these markets don't want to go down. They go down for a minute, right? They go down for a minute and then they stop. So we're a little bit, we're not that close. I think we're far enough away from the VWAP that you could get a test here. Change the high of day YM to manual entry. Move your order around where you want it to fill for a VWAP. Target the VWAP, make sure it says VWAP, and now if we enter above 60, we'll get a test of the VWAP. I'll take the shot. I mean, I think there's a good possibility we go to the VWAP. The
US
question
effective federal
is,
funds rate
are
unchanged
we
at
going to go down? Are we going to
3.63%.
hit my area and go down first before that? There's not a lot of momentum in the market. You could wait until we see positive momentum. Let's go with the oil trade right now. We have to deal with that. We're going to get our brackets
Order submitted.
right now. And it's just, we're getting these chop around nothingnesses at the oil opens. And for me, that's a cancel. All right. I like to give it 20 seconds, 25 seconds. That's a cancel on this oil open.
Order
All
canceled.
right. So oil just not happening for me. Getting rid of the breakout on oil. Now, I'm just concerned about this YM. If I want to take it, what do you think, folks? It's a tough one. It's going to give us another shot. So I didn't take it. I didn't take it yet. I'm still almost in the same area.
Order submitted.
I'm taking it just for a small scalp of the VWAP. It's all it is. A small scalp. I don't want a giant stop. If it doesn't work, I'll take a small stop. If it works, we'll get a small, almost test of the VWAP.
Order
Now,
filled.
oil. All right, we got our YM. It went right to our target. That's nice. Um, Oil. Yesterday, we waited for the fill, and it stopped us out 100%. All right. I definitely interested YM VWAPs in the morning. I've been noticing that when we're far from the high of day, low of day, like we are today, we get these little VWAP tests. Okay. So that's why I did what I did there. So that wasn't a giant trade, but it was a nice demonstration of how the magnet VWAP targeting worked. Now we're going to wait on the YM, let things filter out. The next trade that makes sense is we can target the PP on the YM for the open. That's attainable, and we could target the
Yield on
low.
US 10-year Treasury note turns lower on the day, last down 0.8 basis points at 4.473%.
I have a wacky way we can do both too. Okay, we're going to get rid of our oil setups for the moment because we're done with oil this morning. Now notice we might have gotten filled. We might have gotten filled short on oil and we wouldn't be overjoyed now, right? So there's a lot of inconsistency on the oil open. That's why I did not want a fill if it didn't fill quick in one direction. All right. It's just not been a well-behaved trade. Why throw your money away? So we're going to get rid of our oil setups. We're going to change them into MNQ setups, okay? Because that's our chart. That's our chart on our market open. So MNQ 0626. I'm just thinking to myself, so give me a second. So we're going to modify our settings, our setups on our MNQ chart. First thing I'll modify our magnet setup. It was originally set up for oil. So I'm going to put it on high of day, low of day, multiple contracts on position one, and our stop is 100, and my default target is -3. I expect at some point our MNQ will hit one of our magnet levels if I have time to program it. So we'll label it MNQ magnet. Excuse me. And I'm going to trade the MNQ open on our funded account 67. Should be okay there. So our magnet, we apply it, and it's going to change the name, and it has our settings. Now you can always program your buttons too. So you have your buttons programmed. You can do the reverse continue in buttons. Position one, make it 2 contracts, stop of 75, and a target of 100. And we now have the reverse continue button programmed inside the MNQ magnet. All right. And you could also program your ARS. Enter now button with the ARS management. Position one is 2 contracts, target is 75, stop of 75. And now my ARS enter now button is programmed if I use that button to trade a signal. But as you all know, I like using the reverse continue. But either way, it's nice to program the buttons if you want to. And then we did our reverse continue, so now we're going to add our breakout. Let's make sure we're on the right accounts. And then we have our breakout. Our MNQ open breakout. We're going to trigger at 9. I'm going to load my template. Let me load my template for the MNQ new open. Right click, rename it today's date, the 28th. Load it. We use a bracket of 30, a target of 20, a stop of 100. Sorry, a target of 20, a target of 100, a stop of 125. Target one stop move to BE. Maureen, could you ask that again? I'm not sure what you mean. Just ask that again. You can trade one trade only if you want to. If you want to trade MNQ, you could just choose MNQ. You could just trade RTY. You don't have to do all the setups. Now, there was a RTA signal, a VWAP signal, that you're a little bit late to the party here. Not a bad signal. If I had been paying attention, I might have been interested in it. I don't like missing 20 ticks on it. Bracket of 30 on the NQ open. Bracket of 30, stop at 20. Sorry, target 20, target 100, stop of 125. That's our MNQ breakout. I'm leaving it on sim because we're going to check our bracket. Put the charts on sim.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
See, that's a little tight for a bracket.
Order submitted.
There's our
Order
bracket.
canceled.
Okay, now we'll fix the time on the breakout, 9:29:59. 30 bracket, 20 and 100 on the targets, stop of 125. Target one stop move BE. Put the software on the account we're trading, and it's labeled breakout MNQ open. You can have, well, you can have multiple setups on one chart, but they all have to be the same instrument. Because you can't have two instruments on one chart. You just use another chart. That's why I have three charts. One chart is my MNQ setups. The middle chart is my YM setups. The right chart is my RTY setups. All right. So I have more than one setup, and I can have more than one setup on a chart. I'm not going to use them all at the same time. The idea is the setups are for different times. One you don't use more than one setup at the same time because they will interfere with each other. So if you have a breakout, a spike trade, you wait till the spike is over. Then you can turn on the reverse continue and enter the market with the reverse continue. Or you could use the magnet. When the magnet trade is over, then you could trade your breakout. Normal, you'd trade the breakout, wait and see how the market reacts after the breakout is over. Maybe you'll take a scalp with the reverse continue, or maybe you'll take a magnet. The only reason I changed my settings is I was originally on oil with that chart. The settings for an oil trade are different than an MNQ trade. The risk is different. The number of dollars per tick is different. Oil is much more expensive to trade, so your risk on oil is lower. Your stops are smaller generally. You can take more risk, have bigger stops on an MNQ trade than on an oil trade, depending on what you're willing to risk. Sometimes using a small stop is actually creating more risk because it's the wrong stop, but you're using it because you're afraid of losing too much. It's better to choose the right stop even if it's bigger. than the amount of risk you want to take because it might actually reduce your risk. Let me finish setting up the breakout. 929.59 is our trigger when the market opens. Bracket of 30. Target 1's a 20. Target 2 is 100. Our stop is 125. And target 1 stop move. If we hit our first target, we'll go to break even. We're trading in our funded account number 67 on the MNQ. And we have to put it on that chart. Let's make sure all our MNQs are in the right place. 67 for our magnet. Now, see, our oil is still labeled CL reverse continues. So we got to go back to the MNQ, highlight the reverse continue, make sure our setup is right. Position 1, 25, and it's not. It's still reverse continue is set for oil. Our target is 100. Our stop is 100. And our oil MNQ gets relabeled CL to MNQ, reverse continue. Then apply it. Make sure it's on the right account. Okay. Now, I'm going to turn on my MNQ breakout first, then the magnet, and then my reverse continue. Now, probably going to wait for the open now on the YM. RTY, remember we have our range trade. Let's make sure our accounts are in the right place. Just our RTY is on 66. Okay, it looks correct. Now,
Ed Williams says some of US productivity rise
on
predates the rise
the
of AI.
YM, I'm thinking a little bit about the YM.
Ed Williams says US dynamism is behind the rise in productivity.
With the high of day, low of day, when you turn on high of day, low of day as your magnet, your heavy line is the orders, right? And you can adjust those orders where you feel is the best place to enter for a test of the market. Sometimes there's no magic. Sometimes it might be a fairly random entry because you want 20 ticks of profit. Sometimes there will be market structure. You know, maybe you want to be entered just below all of this activity, this structure, right? So you move your order up to that area. When you're trading high of day, low of day, you have an order for the high and you have an order to enter on the low side. And the software triggers whichever way the market goes. You can fake the software out because one thing you can't do
Ed
easily
Williams says AI will have a
is
lasting
target
impact
the
on
low
productivity.
and the PP. But there's a way you could do it if you use your wits and you think very carefully. This is a long order, right? That's a long order. Why? Because it's an order that's going to test the high. If you look at the magnet entry box, it shows the buy is at 803. If I put it down here,
Williams says we have a solid economy.
it'll
The
show the
underlying
buy
labor market is
at
doing well.
776. If I think I want to buy the PP, a test of the PP, I could fake out the software and put my buy all the way down here. So I've still got my low test in effect because the market's negative. It looks possible we're going to get a low open, a move down first. Looks possible. The YM is a little bit negative. It's not monster negative, but also it would be nice to get a test of the PP without fricking around with the control panel, right? So without fricking around with the control panel, you could take your high of day, low of day order and move it under the PP. And if you get filled here and the price goes up, it won't exit you at the PP. That's the problem because it will exit you. Your target goes all the way up here. But if you think creatively, if you get filled, move your target down. And now you have a way to do both.
Williams says the US
That's what I'm going
momentum
to
has
do.
become
All
weaker
right.
without AI
Hopefully,
investment.
I'll have the wits about me to bring my target down. Right now, and you don't have to do it right now, you could do it whenever. We could wait and see how this market, we still have 10 minutes. It might be that our PP is now becoming a good setup again also because we've pulled down.
According to
So
RBC,
we could
citing
maybe do the
sources,
PP
Russia
again.
plans to lower the cutoff price for oil in budget rule to
When you
$50 per
move the
barrel.
line, it updates the fill automatically. That line is the order entry. That's the price your order will trigger.
Williams says
That gets
underlying
updated
USA markets are doing
automatically
quite well.
in the entry box. The buy. That's the buy. That's the sell. If I move this down here, it gets updated in the box.
And Williams says don't see long-term structural unemployment from AI.
All right. So YM, it looks like the YM is going to do a test of the low on the open. It's certainly close enough that I would let it. Now, that was a good signal on the YM. I'm sorry that I wasn't watching. I like VWAP signals, um, especially when it doesn't go very far through the VWAP.
Fed Williams says Middle East war impacts consumer spending amid higher energy costs.
Turned out to be a pretty good signal. If you take a VWAP signal trade, the stop should be 10 ticks above the VWAP.
Fed Williams says the Middle East war is boosting inflation and energy surge should have a short impact.
So here's what I
Williams
don't
says stick
get.
to inflation likely to peak in the next few months.
Um, the Fed's Williams says, let me see if they print his comment. The Middle East war is boosting inflation. The energy surge should have a short-term impact. Why? Why does the Fed insist that
Williams says
this is
tariff
short
impact
term?
should peak in the next few months.
It doesn't seem like it is. It's a mystery. We don't really know. I mean, they don't know.
Fed's Williams says near-term inflation around 4% and core inflation around 3%.
Part of the problem is there is so much inflation on, I don't understand why they don't measure the inflation. I mean, they're talking
And
3%
Williams says
and 4%
monetary policy needs to be
inflation.
data dependent.
But is your energy bill up 3%? Mine isn't. It's up like 30%. Are your taxes, if you're a homeowner, up 3% over the past year or two? No. Are your food costs up 3%? No. It's more like 15%, at least. Forgetting gas and all that, I don't
Williams says
understand where they're
anchoring
getting their
inflation
numbers from.
expectations is critical.
The cost of living is it's not 3%. So it looks like our YM, it might fill before, unknown, it might fill before the open.
Fed's Williams says sees elevated near-term inflation expectations but long-term stable.
All right, just waiting for the market open. Now we should start to see the 5 minute before the market open, more volatility. What do you think? Should we bring our order down to the VWAP? We can bring our order
Williams says
down
the
to the VWAP.
US labour market is pretty balanced.
If we want to do the VWAP and the low, then we
And
just
Fed's
have to
Williams says
remember to
supply
bring
chain
our
disruptions are a
target
concern and will
down from
happen
the
due
high
to the
of
war.
day, because that's where the target will be.
Fed's Williams says the Fed must be clear it is getting inflation to 2%.
So it looks like the YM is going to fill early. So I don't want to be distracted at the moment. Let's leave this where it normally goes just to see if we get our fill. Our range is starting to draw on the RTY.
Order submitted.
Okay, we're filled for a little scalp magnet on the YM. I would move my stop above the structure there. It doesn't need to be quite as big as we thought, I don't think. So if we get a test of the low,
Williams says the path of monetary policy depends on data and the outlook and risks.
now
Williams says monetary policy is right where we want it to be. It's well positioned.
just watching, we're filled short on the YM. It's not a gigantic trade. I'd like to move my stop. I'm spreading it apart because I was thinking of moving the stop to safety, see if we can make it a bigger target. In other words, bring that down, bring this down, and now see if we can get the opportunity to trail for a bigger move. But see, I don't want to, it may just pull me out.
Order filled.
All right, so it pulled me out. So now I'm thinking VWAP. I still think it may go
1
down.
minute remaining for the market on
But
open balance.
if we get a big change in direction, we could get a VWAP test. So I'll go to manual entry price, get this out of the way,
Williams says
target the VWAP,
slightly restrictive.
and if the market decides to go up, we'll have a VWAP trade. It just barely didn't, just barely tested the low there. It wasn't a very big test. Now
10
it's
seconds.
moving. That was my fear, that moving the stop too soon. All right, let's watch
Order submitted.
RTY.
Order filled. Order filled.
See which direction we're going to
Order
get here.
submitted.
Sell side 120 million.
Order
Nasdaq
filled.
100 sell side.
Okay, got our
48
first
million.
target,
Dow
trying to
50, sell
trail
side
the
70 million.
RTY.
Mag
Order
7,
Oh,
sell side
shoot,
50
my
million.
finger slipped on the mouse. It's all right. Look at the YM. That was a goof. Now, the NQ is nuts. All I could say is the MNQ is insane. RTY, we had a nice profit, not as big as it could have been if I didn't trail so tight. YM, I'm really concerned about allowing this magnet to test the high on the MNQ, but it sure looks like that's what it wants to do. But with these two other markets heavily pushing down, I'm not going to take a long at the moment. I'm just not. What an opportunity we missed on the YM. The RTY was not really an opportunity lost because I only lost $20 on my normal setup
Nasdaq 100 up 0.
because I tried to get extra. And that was just trade management. That's all. Now, is the RTY going to go test the low? Is it going to test the low?
Williams says persistently high inflation would call for higher rates and not where we are today.
Order submitted.
Now, I placed an order and it didn't show up. It didn't show up.
Order filled.
And I believe it's Hang on, folks. I think I have an order hanging that we can't see. So I have to load my R trader. So bear with me. Oh, oh. I know what happened. I know what happened. That setup, that setup, the RTY reversal was in a different account. We did not see it. It's not that something went wrong. It was in a different account. And that just shows what could happen if you're on the wrong account and you put on an order and you don't see it. So full transparency, that short got stopped. All right. But because I made a mistake, and it's not the last time I will make a mistake. It is not the last time. Um, it was in a different account because I didn't see the order. I couldn't adjust it, even if I wanted to. So you have to make sure that your account chosen is on the correct account. That's the mistake I made. Okay. So I'm not going to scalp in my funded account. My best funded account just made some money. MNQ, let's target the VWAP. Let's target the VWAP on a magnet trade. Let's see what happens if the MNQ heads lower for a VWAP magnet. YM, we're just watching. YM, let's turn things off for a second to get our wits about us. All right, let's get rid of our RTY range. That trade's over. Just to simplify things, less setups. Watching the MNQ, which on the open was a very small profit. It hit target one and changed direction. YM, we did not get a trade. There was a long signal on the YM. Now, this short signal on the RTY is pretty much at the open. That's not a valid signal. All right? Not a valid signal. I was late on this YM signal. That was a low of day signal that triggered after the low of day was tested and the momentum changed. Right now, the markets are a little bit worrisome on the downside. I'm not jumping into anything at the moment, except I'm willing to do the MNQ test of the VWAP. I think that's going to happen. Let's see if it does. I think it's going to
Order
fill.
submitted.
There's the fill. I want a decent sized stop. Let's see if we get a test of the VWAP. Now you have nice momentum to the downside. You got to be willing to have a decent sized stop so you can survive the chop that the MNQ constantly does. So I think my stop is as big as I want it to be. And I do not like the behavior. It's tough. The MNQ is tough. Now RTY has started down again. And the MNQ looks like it's going to get us, doesn't it? Test the VWAP, and we're just not getting follow through at all. Trying to survive it. I'm willing to take a little more risk because I feel like it's not committed yet to the upside on the momentum. All right. If the momentum changes, then I'll think about maybe even getting out. If it would do one push through the VWAP, we might get that test. Now, I'd like the test to be a tick or two above it. Let's see if we get some downward movement. Yeah, I really think that I blew my YM trade. You know, if you just had waited for the market open on the YM rather than, I might have to look at the video. I might have to look at the video on the YM. Nice, Nip. Now, there is a new home sale report at 10, which is a very poor performing report these days. It's not performing well at all. So I didn't have very much interest in trading it, but I just want to let people know that the report exists. And it is a news report that at times has behaved, but as of late, it's behaving terribly. When we say a report's not behaving, it means that it hasn't been offering a profit. That's what we mean. It's been inconsistent. Maybe it's been up and down on the news. It hasn't been a good breakout. It's been a trap at times. It's been a breakout at times. That's how I would qualify new homes. It was a breakout for a while. Then it was a trap. Mostly a breakout. And it's been a breakout as of late that hasn't been working. So trying to see if we'll get our test of the VWAP. So now you got to move your stop to safety. Well, I don't want to move it to safety, but I'll move it above so it's now a small stop. It's almost gotten there. It's like this trade doesn't want to go. It doesn't want to go. I can't take it. Come on, push down.
Order
There we
filled.
go. So that worked nicely. Tested the VWAP. A little bit of different momentum in the markets. YM made a new low, and now it's trying to push up, but not doing a great job of it. RTY still looks like it's going to test that low on account number 29. What do you think, folks? RTY going to test the low?
Order submitted.
I want my stop above there. Put that baby in there, and let's see if we can get this test. Right now, the NQ is, it's not pushing down relentlessly, you know? It's certainly not relentless. The YM is like, it almost looks like it stopped trading. It's so slow, right? And the RTY, it's trying to test the low. It's trying to get there. I think I'll move my stop to break. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it. Just leave it. Let's see if it tests it. I'm not even all the way at the low. So now if you want, you could make your RTY at break even so you don't lose on the trade. That's if you want to. And now you can trail a little bit as it goes. Expand the target a little bit. Get it closer to the low. Let's see if we go. Or am I too close? Too close.
Order filled.
Too close. All right, let's see where it goes. Let's see where it goes. You got a long on the MNQ off the VWAP. It's my funded account. I'm not going to scalp it here. I think it's not a bad scalp. But the markets, they're a little bit weird. I don't know if you guys are feeling it. They're acting a little bit strangely. Um, I still think that darn RTY is going to test the low. I don't know if I want to revisit it one more time.
Order submitted.
I still think it's going to test the low. It's been a big move, though. That's the downside. Now, I probably will set something up for new home sales. So RTY is going to bite me, it looks like. You never know. MNQ pushing down a little bit finally. Now, interestingly, we did get another test of the VWAP on the YM. We did get another test of the VWAP. RTY is going to get us, it looks like. Too many times to the well. Momentum changed. Momentum changed. Too bad. It's going to get us right now.
Order filled.
All right, not a funded account, just trading that in a regular prop account. New home sales. All right, so I'm done. I'm done right now on RTYs. Let me turn off my RTYs. The one nice thing is our RTY funded open made money. MNQ funded open
Crypto
made
stocks
money.
fall as Bitcoin sinks to a
That's
6-week low.
the
Coinbase
key.
Global down
Now,
2%.
interesting, got a short signal off the VWAP on the MNQ. I'm not scalping in my funded account. I'm sorry. I don't know if I can change this fast enough. I can't change it fast enough. So right now I am going to change the account because we'll be here for a few more minutes. We have natural gas kicking in. So let me change the account. I'll scalp in a account that I don't care about as much because I want to build up these funded accounts. I think you all understand that. So let me get these set up. And then I'm going to set something up crazy for new home sales. I know you're all going to think I'm completely crazy, but I think the fact that we had bad luck on our gold trade this morning was exactly that, just random bad luck. Gold does not usually move in one direction on news. It's very rare. Our MNQ magnet. Now, the signal, these markets are strange. They're a little bit strange. They haven't, they've been, well, you know, they seem when you look at the chart, the price action on the chart now looks pretty strong in one direction. Much more obvious it does than when we were trading, if you know what I mean. New home sales, all right? So I'm going to put my YM chart's going to become a gold chart. So first things first, we'll make that YM gold. GC 0826. Highlight the reverse continue. Target of 40. Stop of 40. And we'll call it GC reverse continue. Apply it. And then our YM magnet is going to become a gold magnet. If you ever try to adjust and you can't adjust, it's because your trade is enabled. There's an enabled button in the software. If you uncheck it and apply it, you get control back of your inputs. High of day, low of day, just one position on gold, a 40 stop on a gold magnet. But that's not my setup for new home sales. GC magnet, apply it. So let's look at our gold chart for the moment. GC magnet, GC reverse continue. So let's say we have a GC magnet, that's fine, and a GC reverse continue, that's fine. All right, I know you're going to think I'm crazy. Look at gold. All right, let's look at gold on a 3-minute chart. That's what killed us on the news. Now, here's the problem with gold. Let me tell you why I may not do what I was thinking of doing. I wanted to take a trap trade on new home sales on gold. But it's
At 10
clear
a.m. Eastern
that
Time, we're
gold
expecting
is in
US
a
new
very
home sales in
strong
units.
uptrend since
Forecast
the news this morning.
0.6601 million,
And
prior
it looks
0.682
relentless.
million. Also
That's a very
expecting
strong,
Trump
it's been
making
very
comment in
little.
a pre-tape interview. Also expecting the Bank of Canada financial stability report
Looking at
and the
gold's
US new home
movement
sales
today,
change month on month.
it's
Forecast
very
minus
even
3.2%,
keeled
prior
also,
7.4%.
except for the news. And it looks to me like gold wants to make a new high. We could put on a trap trade for the news. We could put on a trap trade for the news and only allow it to fill long. And if it doesn't fill long, we always have a magnet. I don't think gold is going to, it does not feel at the moment or look like gold wants to make a new low. It looks like it really wants to make a new high. So much so, I'm almost willing to test the long in gold. Now, you could trade micro gold if you don't want to blow up an account, right? You can trade micro gold if you don't want to blow up in an account. Or you could be crazy like me. You've got a momentum change.
Order submitted.
You've got movement up in gold. Put the stop below all the structure, right? Take a shot. See what happens. Now I'm going to watch new homes. New homes generally doesn't do much on the MNQ. Sometimes new homes will move the ES. It used to move the ES. So I think what I'll do is turn off my MNQ. We'll turn this into an ES. And we are waiting for natural gas also. All right. So we'll change our setup, reverse continue on the ES. We'll do one position with a 25 target and a 25 stop. All right. On our ES scalp. And we'll label it ES reverse continue. And then our ES MNQ magnet will now become an ES magnet. High of day, low of day. And we'll try a couple of positions with a 30 tick stop. High of day, low of day magnet. Label it ES magnet. Apply it. All right, turn on our magnet. Now we had 15 ticks of profit in gold. Now we're down 28. Gold is a heartbreaker. Gold is a heartbreaker. It can be a heartbreaker. So let's see if the ES responds to new homes. Let's see if gold responds to new homes. I'm not exiting any trades. I think we're far away from everything on the ES except maybe S1. We're a little too close to the VWAP now to trade VWAP.
So a reminder, in 5 minutes' time, we're expecting US new home sales and units forecast 0.6601 million, prior
Let's see what
0.682 million.
happens, folks.
US new home sales change month on month, forecast minus 3.2%, prior
I would call
7.4%.
this a
Also
mixed
expecting Bank of
morning in
Canada financial
terms
stability report
of
and comments from
um,
Trump, who's speaking in a pre-tape interview.
hold on, was there an Iranian who just got assassinated? N- was there an Iranian leader who just got assassinated? Has anyone seen any news about that? I don't think so. So we are going to stick around for natural gas no matter what happens here. And then to recap, two funded accounts made money this morning and regular prop accounts have had some issues. Some I don't think I made terrible decisions other than maybe the extra RTY scalp could have been maybe not taken. This trade, certainly you could question this one. Um, but I've seen gold so often do what it looks like it's going to do. And if I can survive this trade, I think gold's going to make a new high, not make a new low. If I'm wrong, obviously I'm going to have a nice size stop. Um, the YM open is the frustration. It had such a giant move. I had everything right, but my trade was too small and I missed the bulk of the move. And I need to look at the video to make sure I understand what I didn't do as well as I could have. I'm not making excuses, but the excuse is you may not want to trade three setups at once. It's hard to concentrate. You miss signals, right? That's the downside of trading three setups at once. Sometimes you just make a mistake, right? So that is my excuse, I suppose. Well, you're flat now, Roz. Flat. There's nothing more frustrating than like having a good opening trade and then giving it back on a bad scalp. There's nothing more frustrating than that, I don't think. I mean, we all do it. We all do it. Sometimes, you make a decision, everything looks really good. Sometimes the market doesn't cooperate no matter how great your analysis is. Sometimes your analysis is
1 minute
perfect.
remaining. I'll be dealing with US new home sales in units.
Now, I think we'll have a sense if new home sales moves gold
According to
because
Interfax,
gold's been pretty
Kazakhstan may
slow
ship up to 3
in
million
this
tons of
trade.
oil via BTC in
And if there's a
2026.
wiggly kind of move, we'll know that new home sales is going to affects gold. Now, I do know that new home sales does affect gold normally.
Ten seconds.
So the news is going to come out right about now. And you
0
could
spot
see
6221,
gold,
0 spot
it didn't really move
662
very
million.
much on the news.
Lower than forecast is 0
But
spot 66
it
million.
seems like it pushed up.
US new home sales change month on month minus
New home sales
0.62%,
are
minus 0 spot
are they
6.2%,
not
lower
as
than
good?
forecast minus
Not as good.
4.2%.
Yet it's making the market go up,
Seeing here
it
the Bank of Canada
seems.
report saying the risk of shocks remain elevated given Middle East
It
war and US
seems.
trade policy and potential for AI to disrupt business
But
models.
my gold
Traditional
trade
safe haven
is
assets have
not
not
working.
behaved as
It's
reliably as
not
they have in the
working.
past. Financial health of Canada's large banks has
So the
improved over the
question
last
is,
12
do you
months,
want to get
and
out
Canada's
now
financial system has
before
functioned well
too
through a
much
challenging
damage
year.
is done?
The Bank
Because
of
I'm
Canada
wrong. I
Governor
think I
Nicholas
have it
Whittam
wrong.
says dealing with urgent personal
It
matters is
hasn't
therefore
really
not
worked.
present for the release of the financial
It
stability
hasn't worked.
report.
We can go on to
Authorities
natural
says
gas,
if
take our
several
lumps,
vulnerabilities crystallized at
take our
once, they could
lumps,
interact and reinforce each other.
and go on to
Vulnerabilities have
natural
increased in
gas.
some parts of the financial system. Individually, they look manageable. A
So
cascading
you could
series of
shrink
events
your
could cause
stop,
sharp loss of investor
and if it
confidence and
hits,
spike in demand for liquidity
that's where
or
you
rapid
take your
asset sales.
lumps.
AI may increase speed, scale, and
So it's,
sophistication of cyber attacks,
and we'll
and the
move
Bank of
on to
Canada
natural
expects
gas
risk payment
in a
shocks
minute or
linked to
two.
mortgage renewals to have fully passed by second
The
half of
ES, it's
2027.
really, moved a little
Share
bit.
borrowers who
It
are
did
behind on
move on
debt
new homes,
payments has
it looks
stabilized.
like. Gold did not have a tradable move on new homes, in my opinion. It went up first a little bit, then it pushed down. I'm surprised that new home sales were so lousy, quite lousy compared to what was
Reminder, we're
expected.
shortly expecting comments from Trump speaking in a pre-tape interview. Microsoft shares quickly extend gain to 3.5%. This is according to the information. Microsoft to release new coding model next week in comeback attempts. So again, according to the
Now, I
information,
fully
Microsoft to
expect
release a new
that
coding model
this
next week
trade
in
is not
comeback
going to work.
attempt.
Let's put natural gas, turn off our ES. Nothing much going on the ES. Natural gas. Look at natural gas. Whoa. I haven't looked at natural gas all morning. Haven't looked at it all morning.
Order filled.
All right, so the gold trade did not work. I still
We
do
have those of the
believe,
Bank of
watch
Canada
gold.
financial stability report on the
It's
feed
up
for those
$40
interested.
since we started watching gold this morning. Maybe it's going to do a VWAP test. I'm not sure, honestly. Natural gas. This makes it very tough to trade the report. It really makes it tough to trade the report. Now, we have 4 winning natural gas reports in a row. 4 in a row. I have to trade natural gas based on its behavior. It's been a long time since natural gas has had 4 winning reports in a row. I would be surprised. I think gold, I'm wrong about gold, and maybe it's going to do a VWAP.
So a bit more information from the information. Microsoft to debut
Maybe
models that
it's going to do a
specialize in
VWAP. What
tasks.
do you think, folks? I could blow up an account
And Microsoft to announce new models of
thinking
various
this.
sizes.
Keeping an eye on this momentum. That's what I'm watching. It's not a lot of volume behind these moves. So I'm going to watch, but I'm thinking about destroying my life trading gold. All right. Natural gas, what do you do? First, we'll go to indicators and we'll put our net change display on ticks. Apply it, okay it. 72 ticks from last evening. Natural gas is relentless right now. It makes it, like I said, extremely difficult. What the heck? Oil's not doing that. What is going on with natural gas, folks? I didn't see any news come across. Let me go through all the feeds. Did anybody hear any news on natural gas this morning that we're missing? I mean, that is a relentless, insane move. I think natural gas, if my memory serves me well, did it roll over last week or is it just a couple of days ago? It's only 3 or 4 days ago that natural gas
Again,
rolled
Microsoft
over.
shares up 3.6% after report the company to release new coding model next week.
Normally, when an instrument moves like that, there's news related. That clearly looks like news-related news. And yet not a single person has heard anything come across the wires or seen anything. So we'll go to our trusty friend. First, we'll turn our ES reverse continue into a natural gas reverse continue. Sorry, it's an ES magnet. One position, a 40 tick target, a 40 stop, and a default target of -3. We're just going to call it NG magnet. Let's program the reversal button inside natural gas. One position with a 30 target and a 30 stop, 30 stop, 30 target. Our reverse continue button inside natural gas is programmed. And let's also program our ARS management button. One position, 30 target, and a 30 stop, just in case I get distracted and don't put the reverse continue on. Let's make sure natural gas is labeled properly. It is. All right. And then our reverse continue needs to be called a natural gas reverse continue. One position, 30 on the target, and we'll do 30 on the stop there. And I lost track of my thinking. What was I going to do before that? I knew I was going to do something different. See, natural gas right now is making new highs and new lows. Right now it's making new highs. I would be very, very careful about shorting natural gas at the moment because this is very unusual, accompanied by extreme volume also. So something's going on. I'm thinking that the market knows what the news is, that they've leaked the news, and this is all government buddies insider trading natural gas, the report. So this tells me there's going to be a huge drawdown. Let's see if my conspiracy theory is right. There's going to be a huge drawdown on natural gas news. Gold, you son of a slob in the world. I was right. My stop was just too small. I'll risk
Order submitted.
this account because I think gold at least is going to test.
Order filled.
Oh, shoot. I can't. That account. Oh, darn it. That
Tomorrow in
account.
5 minutes' time, expect
Hang on, let me
comments from
see
Fed
what happened
Jerusalem,
here.
who speaks at the Reykjavik
It
Economic
wouldn't let me
Conference.
trade because it has a minimum number that it can do. Let me check something on that account. Oh, you know what? I didn't realize that account was so close to being liquidated. So that's a shame. I might have traded it differently. That account can't be used. So let me think for a second what I want to do with gold. If I think my idea is right or not. I shouldn't have removed that. That was silly. Natural gas, the question is, I don't think you want to do a breakout this morning. I mean, it's had 4 in a row. That's the problem. What do you do when you've had 4 in a row that have worked? Let's turn this into a magnet because I took it off by accident. A stop of 50. Maybe we can fix our morning account or destroy it. That got damaged. This is going to be, we'll try, if I trade it, we'll try and fix that account. Put the reverse continue on that account. All right, so we have a gold magnet and a gold reverse continue. Let me fix the labeling. What's weird about natural gas, we got to get on a 1 minute chart. We're not seeing the moves. Apply that, okay it. All right, so we've got our gold magnet. Let's keep an eye on gold. Get back to a 1 minute chart. Let's look at a 5 minute chart on natural gas. Look at the signal. Look at that VWAP signal. Let me tell you about one signal type, a type of signal that I love. And this is it. Notice how the price tested the VWAP, right? This is the VWAP. The price tested the VWAP. Gold's going to do what I said it's going to
Seeing
do.
weakness in WTI crude here.
Order
You
submitted.
filthy animal. It's going to break the high.
So looking for the news to explain the move.
Something's going on. It is a news move. I don't really care
So
if
again,
it's a
seeing some
news
weakness in the
move.
US dollar, strength in the S&P 500, a lot of weakness in WTI crude.
Now, you got to give yourself a good stop. If it gives all of that back up, I'm going to scream bloody murder. Bloody murder.
So again, according to
I want
Axios,
to make
US and
my
Iran
stop
reached a
big.
deal but need Trump's final approval. So again,
Something's
according
going
to
on.
Axios, US and Iran
Now
reached a
they're
deal
talking
but
deal
need Trump's
again.
final approval. Seeing a lot of weakness in
Final
WTI crude.
approval needed.
Continued strength in the S&P 500, weakness in the US dollar off the back of this news from Axios.
Order filled.
Okay, we'll take $700 profit on that trade.
So oil races gains on the day. WTI trades near
That's a
$87
scalp. You
per
don't
barrel.
know if this scalp is.
So
Look what's
US
going
Iran
on with
reached
natural
agreement on
gas
60-day
now.
memorandum of understanding to extend the
So we
truce.
reversed
Again, from
all of
Axios.
those 700, almost $650 of negativity on that account with
So
that
the S&P
scalp.
500, Nasdaq
Okay.
100 quickly spiked 0.4% to session highs. The US-Iran memorandum of
Now,
understanding to
look what's
extend the
going on with
ceasefire and
natural
launch
gas.
nuclear talks. So Axios cites 2 US officials on the US-Iran deal.
Back to 1 minute. So U.S. and Iran reach deal but need Trump's final approval. That's what kind of BS is that? That's not a deal. There's no
To
deal.
reiterate, Axios saying memorandum of understanding signed between Iran and the US after
It's
Trump's
some sort of
approval
wacky
would launch
memorandum of
negotiations on Iran's
understanding,
nuclear program.
right? Now, natural gas, honestly, probably not safe to trade on this report. So I'll still trade it. I'll tell you why. Because prop trading is
Oil price
monopoly.
turned negative
It's
after
not
report says
real
US and Iran
life.
reached a deal.
I'm not going to trade it in a funded account. Um, and I love seeing what happens on a news report when the markets are insane. It gives us data to study. So it's still worthwhile for us to trade it. You don't have to
The
trade
Stocks
it
Europe
if you
600
feel the
index
risk
pairs
is too
earlier
much.
losses, still down 0.3%.
So here's what's strange. Oil prices jumped 2% after Iran says it targeted U.S. airbase following fresh American strikes. That came after U.S. and Iran reached deal news. And then they're saying
Funds.
U.S. and
Funds and
Iran
bulls
reach
hit barrels
agreement
after
on
Axios report
60-day
US-Iran deal.
MOU
So again, according to Axios,
to
the memorandum
extend
of
the
understanding
truce.
states that shipping through Hormuz will be unrestricted. So again, according to Axios, the MOU signed going signed pending Trump's approval between
unrestricted
Iran
movement
and
in
the
the
US,
Strait of
states that
Iran,
shipping
of
through
Hormuz.
Hormuz will be unrestricted.
Why would
The
Iran
official said this
agree
means
to
no
this?
tolls and no harassment. So
I
again,
don't
very fancy of
believe,
saying
I
a US
think this
official
is going to be just like
said that
yesterday.
this means no
This was
tolls
all
and no harassment.
said
Gold
that it
erases
was not
losses after a
agreed
quarter
to.
US-Iran deal.
Let's get
New York
back to
Stock said
what we're
unprepared
dealing with.
gains
We have to
sharply,
deal
still
with
down
natural gas.
0.3% on the day.
So we recovered one account all the way back to normal,
So furthermore info
account
coming from
29.
Axios, Iran would have to remove Hormuz mines within 30 days.
We did some nice damage to account to two run-of-the-mill prop accounts. We killed two regular
And the
run-of-the-mill
US
accounts.
naval
All
blockade
right,
would also be lifted, again coming from
but
Axios. US Treasuries extend gains
that's
to 10-year yields by 5
$19
basis
to
points
get
to
a new
4 spot
account back. So
43%.
hey, I spent $19 today. I lost $19. That's really what it comes down to. We lost $38 in a real money account because that's what I need to bring an account back. Okay? Because those are full size regular accounts. I got to bring at least one of them back. One of them I might be able to wait till it rebills. I may not need it. All right? But that's why it is in some ways
Interesting.
monopoly money.
Shares,
But I'm still
Exxon said
glad
shares
that we
erase earlier
recover
gains to
an
trade
account
lower.
back to where it was on that crazy gold scalp. And I'm very pleased our funded accounts are still moving up. All right. We have two important funded accounts right now, and they're both significantly above 50,000. They need $3,600 of profit to get a payout. That's the account I've been fighting with, right? One of them is
Furthermore,
the
from
account I've
Axios,
been fighting
the
with to
MOU
get it
includes Iran's
reinstated
commitment not to
to where
pursue
we were
nuclear weapons.
damaged because we did not know we were filled. We couldn't tell we were
So the
filled in a
article from
trade.
Axios is on the feed for
Everything
those hungry.
froze, blah, 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 blah.
Furthermore, Axios
It
saying the
doesn't
US
look
would
like they're
commit to discuss
reinstating it.
sanctions relief.
So we've just started trading those accounts again. And those I trade with the best of the best setups. I don't screw around in those accounts. I don't scalp very much in those accounts. Let's look at natural gas. Now remember, you're going to get false signals whenever an instrument makes new high after new high after new high after new high. We have a rule. If you see this kind of behavior, go to the 4 candle rule. If you get a signal, count 4 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The dollar index
What
falls
color is
following
that
reports of the
candle?
US and Iran
It's
deal,
green.
fast
You have
down
a short signal,
0.258%.
take a wait.
The euro extends gains
New
against the dollar
signal,
following reports
count
of the
4.
US and
1,
Iran
2,
deal,
3, 4.
last
It's
up
green. Wait.
0.21%, and the US dollar
Final new
dropped versus
signal,
the yen,
candles
last
are
down
immediately red.
0.35%.
That would have been a good signal to
US
take.
Treasury
We were
yields
doing
fall after the
something
Fed
else,
to extend the
but
ceasefire to
all the
ease
other
OK. Yield
signals,
on 10-year Treasury
without
notes last
even
down
trying
3.8
our
basis points
built-in
at
filtering,
4 spot
all right,
453%.
you wouldn't have taken most of those signals if you use the 4 candle rule, all right? Just for new high after new high after new high, you don't
So furthermore
always
from
want to
Axios,
jump
Trump asked for a
into
few days to think about the
a
final
signal,
deal. So again, Trump
okay?
saying he's asked for a few days to think about the final deal.
So this is an Axios report. All right, let's get our natural gas. Where can we trade natural gas this morning? Let me think. Okay, I know where. I want to trade it normally. I want to trade it normally. So natural gas, we are set up in the right account to trade it. Gold, we still have our magnet and we still have our reverse continue. There will be a short signal on gold
US stocks
shortly.
turn positive. The S&P
I'm
rises
not
by
going to take it.
0.3%. The Nasdaq
Not
rises
with this
0.4%, and
$80,
the Dow up
$90 relentless
0.1%.
move up in gold. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Natural gas breakout. Here's the problem. It's not a problem, but here's the consternation about natural gas. Five winners in a row. Excuse me. Five winners in a row on natural gas. I can't remember ever seeing six. 10, 29, 58 on our target, on our time. We're going to make it 0 because we're going to test our bracket. The bracket is 15. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1, and we got a 10 tick target and a 20 tick target. And we have a 20 tick stop, target 1 stop move, BE for break even. All right. Nothing fancy or crazy about our breakout, which we'll label breakout NG, and we have a good account to trade it in. All right. Let's test our bracket. Let's leave it on sim before we choose the software account. We'll test our bracket size in sim. Obviously, natural gas
Order
long
submitted. Order canceled.
seems logical because of what's going on in the natural gas market. Let's go back to the breakout and get rid of the vertical line on entry under optional, uncheck it. We can check our brackets again. I believe that we're going to get a draw. So remember, I have a conspiracy theory that the government and their
Order
cronies has
submitted.
released natural gas news early, and they have all front run
Order
this
canceled.
report. So we're going to get a huge drawdown in natural gas. That's my conspiracy theory prediction. All right? That's my conspiracy theory prediction. We're going to go back and put natural gas breakout on the correct time, 10:29:58. Bracket of 15, target 1 of 10, target 2 of 20, stop of 20, target 1
According to
stop move,
Interfax,
go to
Kazakhstan
break
and Russia
even.
have signed a framework agreement to increase Russian oil supplies to China to 12.5 million
Choose
tons.
the account we're trading in. All right. Put the chart trader on the account we're trading in. So that's my conspiracy theory. They're saying there's going to be a huge build, a big build in natural gas, signed 96 billion cubic feet. That's a lot. That's more than a small build in natural gas. The price is telling us that either there's a shortage expected in natural gas, right? That's what the price is telling us. There's a shortage expected, or they leaked the news and all the bros have front run the report, and they're out. They're probably out of the trade now, right? Because now all the schmageggies will get in long now, not even knowing there's a report because people are so ignorant about news, and they'll get killed because there's going to be watch. There will be a build bigger than expected, and it'll push the price down. So I don't even know what my conspiracy theory should be. The more I'm thinking about it, but let's assume the news has been leaked and there's going to be way less gas around than expected. Roz, what do you mean? Sorry. What effect does that have, up or down? What effect what? Which? I'm just not clear on what you're asking. Oh, so it's really simple. A drawdown just means there's way less available. That's higher prices. If there's less of something available, theoretically that should mean a higher price. If there's a build more than available compared to what's expected, more around, cheaper prices. That's all. And that's true of oil storage reports. It's really, when you think about it, that's why every report works. they don't call it a build. When the GDP is a build, it's better than expected. GDP is different. It goes up if it's better. So I'll take the breakout just out of curiosity on this trade more than anything. And then we'll see, is there a trade after the news based on the news result? All right. That's that's what we're going to do here. And then at 11:30, we've got the oil storage report for this morning. So we'll be back at 11:30. And then I have my webinar at noon. I'm already freaking exhausted. This is exhausting. It truly is exhausting. I guess that makes me sound like a baby. Anybody on YouTube, if you're out there, just say something. Nobody says a word to us on YouTube. I don't understand it. Not a word. Not a word. No one. I don't understand it. I mean, I do understand it. We're not getting a high volume of people watching. I talked about this the other day. Maybe they're busy scalping. I don't think so because YouTube is also delayed. It's about 10 or 15 seconds of latency. So I think people realize, I would hope that people realize on YouTube there's a lot of latency. They'll learn the first time they take a trade. Um, I should probably put a warning on our screen. People trade their own charts, Arthur, but a lot of times they'll hear me say, okay, I'm going to go long. And then that would be like 20 seconds after I did it. The trade could be over. So let's see if we have a disaster on the breakout.
So 10 seconds to the EIA natural gas change.
Then we'll try and analyze the
Order
news.
submitted. Order submitted.
Now,
A build
I
of 92 BCF, a build of
despise.
92 BCF. That's smaller than the
So
expected
it's a
build of
little
93
bit
BCF.
of a drawdown, but not much. I think it's not going to work. I think it's gone up so much, it's going to struggle to keep going. Now, make me dumb, natural gas, by hitting my first target. Make me dumb, please. I would love that. Make me dumb. Hit
Order
the
failed.
target. Thank you. Expand the next target. Trail one tick. Trail one tick. Trail one tick for each tick that it goes up. Trail a tick. Expand the target. Nice and fat. Trail. That's 6 in a row natural gas. I think that might be a first. It might be a first. I don't think I've ever seen it. My conspiracy theory is not valid. I'll tell you why. It's not a dramatic drawdown. It's minor. It's minor. It's normal. It's a completely normal result. My conspiracy theory was based on an abnormal result. I'm not going to take credit for a normal result. It's a totally normal drawdown in relation to what they were expecting in the forecast. If it would have been 10, a build of 10 or an actual drawdown, then the concept of a conspiracy theory and front running makes sense. I'm killing that theory. Something else is going on with natural gas. So we're going to research before we go. Let's see if we get a continued push up here. We've made a nice profit on this trade, no matter what happens. Bottom of the candle, bottom of the candle. You know, I never finished telling you what signal I like best. If I stop in the middle of a thought and I don't finish it, remind me if it's a good thought too. So I wanted to tell you about a certain type of VWAP signal that I like. Please remind me after we get stopped out of this natural gas trade with a really nice profit. One thing you realize on this natural gas trade is, and it's what I was trying, a part of me is trying to show, not to be afraid just because there were 5 winners in a row. Don't let that scare you out of the trade. So our breakout, it made more than $200. That's an awesome trade. Now, I was talking about a VWAP signal. I have to go back to the other chart that we were looking at. So if you give me a minute. So looking at the news, so everyone understands it, they forecast a build of 96 billion cubic feet. Last week was 101. So we're in a normal range, but that's a normal to high range. Um, that's more of a build than I would expect in these markets. I would think we'd be looking at storage problems with natural gas because of everything going on in the world. Um, look at the price. So there was a build of 92 billion when they expected 96. So there's 4 billion cubic feet less available than what they thought. That's theoretically bullish for price. And that's exactly what happened. Natural gas spiked on the price, on the report. It almost stopped us out. Our stop probably should be raised to 25 on this report, but it is a safe stop at the moment. It's a safe stop. Here's what you need to know about natural gas. In its history, even a 1 billion difference, 92 versus 90, like today they were saying 96 was expected. In the past, even when it was as little of a difference as 95, that used to be considered a very big difference. Everything has changed since the pandemic. The way news responds has changed a bit, but natural gas still, generally, its history has been 1 or 2 billion cubic feet is a big difference from the expected. In other words, we call the difference a news offset. In other words, 96 billion was expected, 94 billion theoretically was the result. The news offset didn't sound like it was all that big, only 2 billion cubic feet. But with natural gas, that's considered a big offset because that's the way natural gas moves and moved in the past. So my theory was if that build would have been 36 billion, that's a monstrous drawdown. And that might have created this crazy move up, this relentless natural gas move up that we're seeing. Now, natural gas showed something interesting on a VWAP signal. Now, I think it was shown way better, though, on our MNQ charts. So let me put an MNQ chart on because this is important. So look, we had a great trade on natural gas. Interestingly, gold is giving a short signal. That's the signal I said I was not dying to take. Let's keep an eye on that. Let's change to the MNQ because I want to teach you one thing before we go about signals that you'll thank me for, if I can find it. What was the last chart we looked at? All right, this kind of gives me a good idea. So here you notice we have a test of the VWAP. We have a test of the VWAP and we have a change in momentum and that generates a signal. What's fantastic about this signal is there's not a lot of other signals around it. There's none. I love it. And the signal was given on a candle. It gave us a long signal on a candle that started out below the VWAP. That's a really strong signal. It's just a really strong signal. It proved to be a mind-boggling signal. Let's go back in time. And I find that these are good in particular for the VWAP. None of these fit the bill, okay? They're all either above or below the VWAP in the correct direction. Long signal, candles are above. Short signals, candles are below.
Treasury Secretary Bessent says the US
What
won't
are we
tolerate
looking
faulty
for?
system in the Strait of Hormuz.
A
And
signal
Bessent says Oman should know Treasury will target actors involved.
where the candle is below. It started below, okay? Gold's going to work, and I'm going to want to jump through a glass window and slit every artery in my body. Excuse me for the graphic description, but that's the point I'm reaching with these markets. I want every artery opened. All right. Looking for a great VWAP signal. Now you're too early in the morning. Not the right time of day. All right? Not the right time of day. Got to go back probably to a different day. I just want to see if we see a better, even a clearer example. This, to me, is particularly unique on VWAP signals. All right. So I'll tell you what. Let's look at the MNQ for a second, because I thought it was the MNQ. Will we just look? Am I losing my mind, folks? So what I'm looking for is an up signal where the candle is below the VWAP. Okay. Significantly, not a tick or two,
And just
or a
furthermore,
down
Bessent says
signal
any
where
marine
it's
cargo
above the
tolling in the
VWAP,
Strait of Hormuz will be
particularly
penalized.
where it's in between the VWAP on the candle. There's not a good example right now better than the one that we had on natural gas. So use this for the moment as your VWAP signal to try to remember well. All right, let me show it to you one more time. See, these are not the ones I'm looking for.
Fez Muslim says baseline outlook is that inflation will take longer to come back to
So it
target.
was 8:30 this
And
morning. I
Fez
thought
Muslim
that we
sees
got the
risks that
best one.
inflation may not converge to target as we would like.
Well, so I'm sorry to say, I'm just not really seeing a great example of what I want to teach. I don't want to show you the wrong signal. So trust me, it'll come up again. See gold, folks, by the way? It's the stupid ceiling fan. I can't fix it. I have to change the fan. Now we are getting a short natural gas signal. That's off the high. I think I'm done for the morning for right now. It's getting into the time of day. I'm not 11 o'clock. I don't like to trade past
Muslim says there's a
normally.
scenario where the economy might require a rate increase.
It's so crazy.
And
Everybody
Muslim
hears
says if
that
we don't see
clicking
disinflation
noise.
in the
It's
next one
so
to two
quiet
quarters,
in
that
the
would
room.
concern me.
It's so quiet in the room.
Muslim says high inflation expectations would also concern me.
It must be the fan motor that's doing
And
it.
Muslim just saying again there is a scenario where the economy may require hikes.
Let me look at one more chart, folks, and then we'll go. Look at oil at 10:15. That must have been when that announcement just came through. So we're looking for a VWAP signal where the candle, see, those don't really fit the bill. This one almost fits the bill, but it kind of gives you a better idea. See how we have a long signal and the candles
Muslim says right
below?
now risks are tilted
That's
more to the inflation side.
that's normally a better signal than most. This signal did
And Muslim
work.
saying if that were to happen
It
and
did
inflation
work.
falls, could envision a rate cut.
It turned out it isn't a great one.
And Muslim saying
All right.
is it also a scenario
Maybe you would
until
have
the
got
second
in
half of the
somewhere
year we
around
could see growth
here.
slow down.
It did not stop you out. It only went 21 ticks. Now, I probably would have had my stop in a safe area because did it stop us out here? Did it stop us out here? 9104. Yeah, it would have stopped us in this area. Okay. The rule is approximately 10 ticks below. If you're trading the VWAP, the stop should be approximately 10 ticks below. You want to make it 20? More power to you. That's fine. I'm not against that. I just believe that most traders are going to put their stop 1 or 2 ticks away from the VWAP. They're not going to go as far as 10. Okay? Any
The
questions?
Treasury Department says the
Let's
US
do
taking
one
10 of
thing.
6 names off
Let's
the
do
sanctions
one thing.
blacklist, a move meant to boost focus on high-risk
Hang
targets.
on. Let's go back to natural gas since there's still a few people here. Natural gas. By the way, everybody that did not come to the trade room last night to trade the earnings missed. Both setups worked. So I'm going to make a video. The next video I make will show you both setups. And both setups made nice money. Trap and a breakout and a range. Trap and a range. And it just shows the power of testing. It just shows the power of testing. You know what? I got to go. I got to get ready for this webinar. I'm not even ready. Um, I really have to run. All right, I forgot what I lost my train of thought to. What was I going to say, Arthur? What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Oh, the trade. Yeah, I'll show the video. I'll show the video. That's not where I lost my train of thought. Gold. See that signal? That just was not a good signal. It just wasn't. Why? I mean, from an analysis viewpoint, it wasn't just because gold went up relentlessly on that war news. You should wait. You probably shouldn't take. I mean, it's just riskier. It's all it is. It's just riskier. You can accept that risk and take the trade. Anyway, I don't see the great setup. I forgot the last thing I was going to tell you. So anyway, I'll see everybody later. 11:30 for the oil report. I'll trade that also. All right, we have a setup for the oil report that I think is safe. So I'll see everybody at 11:30 for oil. See you in a bit. Range of the. Oh, I remember what I was going to do. Here we go. Before you go, this is what I was going to do. I want to find out what happened with natural gas. What's up with natural gas? There's still no news. Natural gas started moving relentlessly up.
Muslim says also a scenario where
I think
growth
we can
slows and inflation
agree
falls.
it started moving at 9:15. It relentlessly started moving up at 9:15 this morning. So the thought I had is ask our buddy Chat, and we're going over to Claude. That's what my boss has asked me to do, to go over to Claude. He likes it better than Chat. So at 9:15 this morning, so you, ChatGTP, are the top commodities trader in the world, focusing on natural gas. What caused this morning's natural gas futures price to start moving up
So seeing here from Israel's
relentlessly
I-24
at
news saying that Iran's Supreme
9:15
Leader Khamenei
a.m.
has not
Eastern
accepted a
Time?
memorandum of understanding
All
with the
right, so
United
that's
States. So again, seeing some contrasting reports here from Israel's I-24 news saying Iran's Supreme
what
Leader
caused this
Khamenei
morning's
has
natural
not
gas futures
accepted
price
a
to start
memorandum
moving
of
up
understanding
relentlessly.
with the United States.
If you put on a range trade on that consolidation, absolutely, Arthur, and that's one of the beauties of range trades. Now, it happened at a strange time. The move started at 9:15, right? So that's a little bit of a weird time
So
to
11 a.m.
end a
Eastern Time, we have the
range.
Bank of Canada press conference with
You
Governor
would
Matt.
end the range. You might be more prone to end it at 9:25, 5 minutes before the open or right before the open. You understand what I'm saying. I don't see 9:15 as a meaningful time. That's the catch to me. If you had put the trade on at 9:30, you still would have caught a significant part of the move, more than half. Let's see what our genius buddy says. The biggest, I'm not talking this week, so already AI just makes me so angry. I said today, okay? I didn't say last week. I don't care about anything I said this morning. That's not creating a move starting at 9:15. And now it's talking about yesterday's 5% rally being short covering. Now, okay, positioning ahead of the storage report, no. You don't get that kind of a move, so that makes no sense. Okay? That you don't get that kind of buying before a report. That news was not a meaningful enough number to guarantee a long move. It's a good number. It should have been a long move. The AI does not know. AI does not know. Weather forecasts and positioning ahead of the EIA report. Um, your analysis is incorrect. Who can spell analysis? I can't. Is incorrect. And I have to stop myself from cursing when I realize it's not a person. Your analysis is incorrect. Front running never moves a market that much, that long before the news is released. And that's true. And why would a weather report start a move at 9:15 in the morning? It makes no sense. AI is idiots sometimes. It's idiocy. And for someone who doesn't know better, they're going to say, okay, and they're going to start telling all their friends they're an expert in natural gas. If you tell me which contract month, I can break down the order flow and likely trigger. I mean, no, they can't. Uh, we were looking at the July futures on NinjaTrader. And I already said what time, you idiot AI moron. Yeah, Francis, that's exactly right. It's not based on today. I agree with you. A routine positioning move ahead of a 10:30 report generally doesn't create a one-way 9:15 launch. Then why'd you say it did, you stupid moron? Weather models, feed gas or pipeline flow data, that makes more sense. Something might have happened in the supply chain. Technical stop run above key resistance and not, no, that's not what that was. I don't believe. Options related hedging. All right. So natural AI not
Just a reminder,
helpful
in 5 minutes' time, we're expecting the
at
Bank
the
of
moment.
Canada press conference with Governor Macklem.
All right, everybody. I'll see you at 11:30. See everybody at 11:30. Hold it. I-24 News. Iran's Supreme Leader Kamani, however you pronounce it, has not accepted a memorandum of understanding with the U.S. So here we go again. All right. I don't know what's right, what's wrong. I want to thank everyone on YouTube. Yesterday, I totally forgot. Oh, somebody said hello on YouTube. Larry. Larry says, I watch you every day. I don't trade anymore. I just have you running in the background while doing other things. Larry, you make me feel great that you enjoy my commentary. Thank you very much. Say hello every now and then, and we'll say hello back. So thanks for enjoying the streams. And we're going to close it down, Larry. We'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow morning. I'm seriously overjoyed that you enjoy this stream.